Hi, I'm Sathi Roy. Welcome to my series, Conversations with Phoenix. Direct, powerful, and unfiltered discussions on humanity, the universe, relationships, and the cycles of transformation.
Karma is simply an equalizer. Right. It's just the equalizer, and it happens at any point in space and time, and it's in various forms. It's not going to be exact for exact, right? It's an apples and oranges.
It's just a vibration.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. The karma has been very interesting for me to just dive into mentally, because, karma also, clearing karma, the term clearing karma, I think also people have misunderstandings about, because, what does it mean to clear karma? Okay, well, I want to do this, so maybe I shouldn't, or I feel like I need to do it, so I should do it. But technically, karma could be any of those things could be true. Karma could be participating in something because you haven't in the past, and you should have, or you're supposed to, right? You're supposed to experience something that you've run away from. Or karma could be it's a pattern that cycles in your life, and it's being presented to you, and you're actually supposed to not participate, right? Karma could be karma could be either one. Karma doesn't have to. It could be engaging in something or not engaging in something.
Well, I would say karma, you experience and untangle your karmas by just living your life. Nature will take care that you have to experience whatever karmic things you have to experience in this life. All you have to be aware of is I should not create more karma. If I'm walking down the street and somebody comes and pushes me, you have no control over that.
Right.
But there is a karmic reason why they did that. It's not just random, right? There's a karmic thing. And the moment they push you, guess what happens? You've actually cleared that karma. You should be happy. Like, oh, thank you. Like, whatever karmic thing that we had, we finished. But if I get angry, right? If I get angry, I'm like, how dare you? And I go and attack them, guess what I'm doing? I'm creating more entanglement.
Yeah. Then you'll get pushed or something, and
then it creates a whole domino.
Yeah.
So if somebody does that, it doesn't mean like I take it and say, oh, thank you. Call the cops and say like, hey, please don't do that. But if you don't get emotional, that is a perfect opportunity to have cleared karma. When you get, like, let's say you have cancer. Cancer is actually a process of clearing karmas that you have in the past.
Right.
And so if you embrace it and say, okay, this is what I have to do. I'll try my best to become healthy. I'm not going to do anything, but I'm not going to get emotional. I'm not going to get afraid. I'm not going to get scared. Then it's a great opportunity to clear whatever you had to so you can move on. But you get emotional, you get afraid, you get scared. Guess what happens? You entangle yourself more with that energy. And then that has to come again in a future life. It becomes a pattern that keeps reoccurring till you balance it and say, okay, I'm not going to engage again.
Karma and detachment are hand in hand.
That's it.
Because the inner detachment is what clears the karma, because the inner detachment allows you to see what it is you're supposed to do.
Nature will take care. Nature will keep bringing things into your life that allows you to clear it. All you have to do is accept it with detachment.
Right.
Nature's like, I'll take care of you. Here, clear this karma, clear that karma. So one way is that. Another thing that we do is called Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga, when we do it, it also taps into karmas that don't necessarily need to play out. And you can process it without actually having to experience it in real life. So that's grace.
Mm-hmm.
So suffering is when you have to go through the karma.
Through the exercise.
And grace is like, oh, let me do my kriyas and I'll work through that. And also, whatever karmic things that life gives you, it's actually not as bad as what you did. Meaning, like, for example, there was this guy and he was standing on a bench and he was looking at a man and he only had one leg. And he was like jumping around with one leg and like asking for money and this and that. And so he's sitting there and his guru comes and the man is like very sad. And the guru's like, why are you so sad? It's like, I'm thinking, oh, God is so unfair. He made this man with one leg and he has to do all of these things. God is so unfair. And Guru looks at him and says, if you only knew what he did in his past lives, you'd be running down there to chop off his head. the divine is merciful. And so in that way, life will bring things into your spectrum that you have to experience.
Right.
Like, for example, let's say you are born and you get abandoned as a child. Do you have any will in that? No, it had to happen. It was a karma.
Right.
But if you go into negativity, if you go into your negative patterns, then that initial action can make you very angry and frustrated. And you might lash out and you might do something later in your life that entangles you more.
Right.
Or you can take it and say, you know what, I was abandoned as a child, but actually let me live a life where I go to an orphanage. I adopt a child. I talk about my experiences. If I do that, I'm not creating karma. I process that and I'm not entangling myself more.
Right.
That's how we should view the interconnectedness of karma.
Absolutely. And it's vital to actually be at that place of inner detachment to be able to understand it, because inner detachment allows you to understand it. The emotions, the attachment, the mental associations, those are all divinely orchestrated for you to also move through. Like, it's all part of the whole thing is part of the exercise, right? This is why we have emotions.
Yeah.
And this is why we have multiple ways of being guided as humans. You have a mind that can tell you, like, you can try to rationalize your decisions. And, my mind has created a thesis as to why I should go left and not right. And you can listen to your mind. You can also have your listen to your heart and say, well, I just want to, right? I just feel this love. I'm going to do it. Then, you have this desire. Then you have something else that's in between, which is, it's not necessarily an emotional message. It's not really necessarily an emotional guidance. It's not necessarily a rational thought, but it's just this other thing that is just, I don't know why, but for some reason, I know I need to go right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel is it's all part of the exercise, right? We're supposed to also kind of go through to understand what is it, who do we listen to?